Hi guys, I'm Naj.
And I'm Naj.
Okay, so yeah, as you can see, Tanisha's not on this side of the camera with me today, and so that's because today we're doing a book haul, and Tanisha is not very much a fan of books as much as I am. So whenever we're talking about books, it's usually probably just gonna be me, and so our guests today are these books. So I got these books a time ago, and as any reader knows, it's really hard to find books that are a good price, especially if you're a college student or if you just don't have that much money. Books can be expensive, and so you always want to find the latest books or your favorite authors all for a great price, and also discovering new ones. So I think a few months back now, I'm filming this in November, and so I think in like I think March-ish or May, something like that, I discovered this website called The Book Outlet, and The Book Outlet is amazing. And so they have all these different books. They have a pretty nice selection, and they're all for a fantastic price, and they have free shipping on orders over $35 and over. So you guys don't know this, but I absolutely hate spending money on shipping and handling. I feel like you're throwing away your money when I can be spending that money on merchandise. So I always try to meet that minimum to get my free shipping. So I just had to spend $35 worth of books or a little bit over. And with that much money, $35, you can get a lot of books on Book Hub. Sometimes you can get them for like $2, $3, $5. And again, these are your favorite authors. These are authors that we know about. These books are in great condition. And so I think maybe the only reason why they may be... Yeah, I think the only reason why they may be at such a discounted rate is potentially that maybe I guess they're a little bit old. Like,
Can I send your money?
I'm going to fact check that. The reason I think these books are at such a great price is that I think they've been released like a few years ago. So they're new, but they're not like the 2020 edit. They're not like the 2021 ones. But they're all brand new. They're not pre-owned. They're in great condition as far as I know. All that I got has been excellent. So I'm just going to get started. I'm going to use my order summary. Again, I got these books a couple months ago, so I'm not sure if all of them are still in stock, but this is just to let you know, I guess give you a little taste of what they do have, and also a taste of books that you could potentially read in the future. I'm a realistic fiction lover. I love YA books, new adult books, and wrote like the cute like romance stuff. So that's the theme for most of my book hauls. Alright, so let's get into it. So the first book on my order confirmation is 9 Days and 9 Nights by Katie Cotugno. I don't know if I'm saying her name right. I'm probably not. So I've never read a book by her before, and even though I bought this book, I have not read it, because as I read it, I realized that it's actually a part of a series. I don't know how I missed that when I was reading the book summary. So I got this. I think this is like the second one. I don't know if it's a trilogy or like a two-piece John. I don't know. But I read like 40 pages of it, and it just something wasn't happening. Like, I wasn't feeling it. And potentially, it could be because I didn't read the first one. So I'm not as invested, and I was a little bit like, And from the sound of it, like the guy that she's with in the beginning, he sounds really boring. So we probably can assume she's not going to end up with him. Between you and me, I didn't finish it. I don't know. I hope not, because he seemed extremely bland. But yeah, that's it. I'm most likely, I don't know. I definitely want to read one of hers. I think I've seen a couple more that I definitely want to try. I'm kind of mad that my first one was a part of a sequel, but I'm definitely going to give her books a try. But yeah, I don't know. I have to decide whether or not I should read the first one. Please let me know in the comments if you like her books, which one you recommend, and if this series is worth me reading, or if I should just drop it now. Okay, the next book is A Midsummer's Nightmare. Now, so this book, I saw this. This is by Cody Keplinger. He's the author of The Duff. I've never read it, but I watched the movie. We all know books are better than movies, but I just watched the movie.
No.
Tanisha disagrees. Books are way better than movies. Well, books are movies in your mind that are pretty much directed. No, they're directed by the author, but you are, like, you paint it in your head. You know what I'm talking about. You true readers, you know what I'm talking about.
But with movies, you just cut right to the chase. You don't
sit there and waste 3 whole days or 10 days trying to figure out what happens. And
when you're reading, it's not a waste.
Look, in a movie, you can see all the details you need to see while you get to the point.
How many times have you watched a movie and you thought the person that they cast for was completely wrong? The look was wrong, the acting was wrong, the voice was wrong.
That's not important.
In a book, you never get the casting wrong. It's always right.
What if the author describes the book main guy character?
But this is not even supposed to be a part of this haul. So for you to be doing this is ridiculousness. So she lost the debate. You guys can join it down below. Everybody knows like books are better than movies, or most readers, the real ones though. Sometimes sometimes movies are really enjoyable and stuff like that, but books are just bomb. So Midsummer's Nightmare. This book I also did not read. I started it, and again, it just felt off. Like, maybe I just couldn't... Every book that I read, obviously, I can't relate to. Like, I've read Maximum Ride, and I obviously cannot relate to having wings and having my DNA messed with and being with a group of people that have supernatural powers and fighting against evil scientists and hybrid animals and stuff. I can't relate to that. But it's just a spark, a magic that happens that really pulls you in. And from the beginning, I didn't feel it, but I think I ought to, give it a chance to redeem itself. I think, honestly, this is supposed to be just a book about this girl. She's I think a party girl from the beginning. She's a party girl. No judgment. So she's, living her best life. I think her parents are divorced, and I think she has to spend time with her dad's family, with her dad's new family, and I think she got, a stepbrother or some kind of way. So it might be one of those things, like a stepbrother John, I don't know. My stomach could be off. Wait. Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, yes. Yeah, it is a stepbrother John. It says it right here. A smoking hot guy who isn't her stepbrother. At least, not yet. So, she's liking what she sees, and that's the stepbrother. So I guess it's about her, reconciling with her dad and this divorced family and this guy that's supposed to be a stepbrother, but she into. How do you guys feel about these stepbrother tropes? I heard that there's a book called Did I Mention I Love You? It's a 3-part series, and it's all about this girl who loves her stepbrother. I feel like it's kind of awkward. I've never been in that predicament. I pray that I never will, because to me that's extra complicated, I feel like. But if you all have experienced that and it's good for you, good for you, I guess. It all worked out. Maybe they divorced in the end and you guys stayed together, on Gossip Girl. Oh, don't get me started. Because, we all know. Okay. Serena and Dean. Oh, okay. Always Never Yours. Okay. I actually did read this one. Okay. This is Always Never Yours by Emily Werberly and Austin Siegmund Broca. This is the second book of theirs that I've read. I think the first one I read was To Be Honest. And this one, I did enjoy this one. This is about a girl who is he's pretty much always the girl that the guy, the last girl that the guy dates before he finds the one. So she's that girlfriend, and they break up with her, and then whoever their girlfriend is next really ends up being the person that they end up with. And so has this reputation of being this serial dater. So this book is about her setting her sights on this new guy, and her wanting to date this new guy, and her navigating this relationship while she meets this other guy, and navigating that relationship and her family life. Her parents were divorced, and so she's adjusting to her dad and his expanding new family, and the same thing with her mom. So she's dealing with a lot. So I think this book was really good. I found it really entertaining. I think it was a great balance of romance and family. I feel like a lot of these romance books are kind of just so focused on the characters and their relationships with each other. Obviously, they do have some family elements, but I do really like the presence of the family and her really making it work. And obviously that message that who you think you should be with, who you would think that the romance and stuff would happen with, isn't always the one that the romance happens with. It's always the ones that you least expect. Maybe not always, because I don't know. But in this case, anyway, it's typically the ones that you least expect that are the ones that could be your forevers. And just taking time to embrace yourself and give those people a chance. So I liked it. Check it out. Oh, I forgot to mention the prices. But this one is super cheap. It was $6.45. That's up to you if it's cheap. But books sometimes, we know they can cost $10. So $6.45, and it's great, and it's relatively new. I really enjoyed it, and I think it's a good price. Okay, so the next book is, Broken Beautiful Hearts, which is by Cami Garcia. This is the first book I've ever read by her. I think she's the author of Beautiful Creatures. Now me, like, I like me a little dystopian stuff, but I'm also a little scaredy cat. So based off of that movie trailer of Beautiful Creatures, and she all doing that witch stuff and all that stuff, that ain't for me. But if that's for you, okay. So Broken Beautiful Hearts is about a girl who is, she's raised by a single mom, for reasons you will find out. So she's raised by a single mom, and she has this unfortunate event that happens that leaves her shaking in a way that it kind of shakes her norm, like what she expects in the future, her relationships, you know, things really change. And so she's placed in this new area. You'll find out why. I don't really want to spoil anything, but she's placed in this new area in such a critical time in her life, and so many things are changing, and so she's learning to adapt. But also, she also has the opportunity to find love too, which obviously, like, you see the hearts. Broken Beautiful Hearts. Like, we're not perfect, but our hearts are still beautiful, and what we can do together is still beautiful. You can still find love in the brokenness and the craziness. I liked it. Obviously, all books, we have these archetypes that we see often, but we love it, and the journey is what makes it different. But this journey was pretty good. I liked it. It was cute. It was a little edgy. I liked the edginess of it, and it wasn't just all cutesy rainbows. I had a little edge to it, like I said. So I definitely recommend this one. And this one was $3.73. That's cheap, and you see this is brand new, cover intact, no water damage. You need to get you these books from here. Ooh. This is one of my favorites. Okay. This is called The Impossibility of Us, and this is by Katie Upperman. This is the first book that I've ever read by Katie Upperman, and I absolutely loved it. It's about this, it's an interracial, like, romance genre. So this guy is, I think he's Afghanistan. He's a Middle Eastern guy, and this girl's a Caucasian girl. And so the impossibility of us, knowing how sometimes stereotypes go as far as Middle Eastern individuals and, like, people that are Muslims and the terrorists, the horrible things that go with it, and the fact that our soldiers are oftentimes in these settings, and so these Middle Eastern people are often vilified. And so it's about this girl who's related to a soldier who's been in Afghanistan, and then she meets this Afghanistan boy that she really likes, and the two come together and they really work well together. But obviously they have some obstacles, you know, family, the associations, that the prejudices that come with being a Middle Eastern person and being in that interracial couple there. But I really loved it. Their relationship was amazing. I really loved the guy's character. I forget his name, and that's really bad, but I read this some time ago. Let me find his name. But I really liked him. I'm probably going to say his name wrong. Oh, Maddie. I think his name's Maddie or something. Or Miss Hyde? I don't know. But I really liked it. They were really sweet, and they were really comfortable, and I really enjoyed the way she wrote from his perspective. It was really refreshing, and it really showed, like, obviously a difference in who's speaking, but it was really creative, and it broke up the story in such a wonderful way. And this book was $2.59. $2.59 for this, and I loved it. I think this is one of my favorite books out of this entire pack here. So you should do it. Okay, so the next book is called Summer of Chasing Mermaids. This is by Sarah Ockler. First book I've ever read by her. And what's funny is, I have a Kindle, and so years ago, I forgot when, but years ago on my Kindle, I saw this book, this cover, and I got the sample, and it was expensive, so I didn't get it at the time, but I read the sample, and I was really drawn in, and I wanted it. And so when I went on Book Outlet, and I saw that it was there, I was like, yeah, you're going in the bag. Like, there's no way I'm not putting you in the bag, so I got it. And it's a really, I enjoy long reads because it really builds and develops the story. Although short ones, there can be short and powerful stories, and I definitely have read some of those. Like The Impossibility of Us is a relatively, like, small to medium sized book, but the way that they develop is so amazing. But this one is really good as well. And so this features a young girl. I think she's like Trinidad. She's from one of the Caribbean islands. She's a twin, and so due to this unfortunate accident, she is then relocated to live with pretty much like her aunt for, I think, for the summer or for some time. And so she's in this, and it's in a small town, and this small town is undergoing changes. And so the poor accident leaves her voiceless, so she can't speak at all. So think of it kind of like Little Mermaid, but except she didn't really willingly give up her voice. So, and then she meets this boy who, in this small town, is from a well-off family, and so it's about like these mismatched people coming together and then also defending their town and coming to understand how to evolve or move with it, but also like speaking up and fighting for what's right and finding your voice even though you don't physically have one, which I find to be a really powerful idea because I mean most of us have the ability to speak and we have our voices, and so we take that for granted, and even though we have our voices, sometimes we aren't good at being vocal or good at being heard. And so reading from a perspective of somebody that literally can't speak with her voice but seeing her develop a voice shows that we all can definitely do well to develop a voice and not just rely on this vocal voice or whether or not you actually have one or not, but we can develop and know what that means to know who we are and still make changes and still communicate. So I think that's really cool. My sister is coming in. I don't know if she's laughing at me because I'm talking about these books, but her hair looks horrible. Oh, and this was $3.29. Which, if it was $3.29 on the Kindle app at the time that I wanted it, I would have snatched it up. I would have asked my mom because then I had no money. So I was like, Mom, can I buy this book? I would have asked her. I would have bought it. But to have it physically too, and it's also interracial love. You know, I like reading about protagonists of color. For most of my life, I've read about Caucasian characters, which I have nothing against that. And I didn't do that on purpose. Like, oh, I only want to read Caucasian. It's just mostly those things were the most upfront, the most advertised, and I feel like we still can do a lot better with showcasing all these different women of color and protagonists of color. And I feel like that's happening. I slowly see these bookshelves in my library and different places. They're slowly becoming more diverse, and I think it's wonderful. And so I've definitely made an effort to be more conscious of that and go for more diverse ones. But anyway, these diverse characters, their books are good. I don't read them just for the sake of like what they look like, but it's just like a boost. It's nice to read too. Okay, and the next book is After the Game by Abby Glines. This is not the first Abby Glines book I read. I forgot the one in this. I think it's the first one. The first one in the series, I think it's called Under the Lights? I don't know. I'll probably edit it and correct which is the first one. But it's the one with Willa. And it's like that love triangle drawn. So this is about the guy that got left behind in love triangle. Because we all know love triangles at the end, somebody's getting left out. You ain't getting picked. Even if you was picked for like a couple moments or something, a couple kisses or something like that, you ain't staying. And likely, you got to pacify the leftover corner of the triangle. So this is the leftover corner on the triangle. It's about Brady. He's that corner piece. Ooh, that's low-key a spoiler for the first one. Okay, so this is about Brady. And so he meets this girl named Riley, and the girl named Riley, he's familiar with her. It's a small town in the South, big football, high school people. That's why the theme of these is like, it's always about the game. So football is pretty much the center of their high school conflicts and identity and social hierarchy, all that cool stuff. So we have this girl named Riley, and so she's from the small town. Everyone knows each other, but she's an outcast. And so she's been outcasted for a few years now. You'll find out why. And Brady is that sweet, wholesome guy, football player from this area. And so he meets up with her. He gets to know her and kind of really gets to know the girl behind all the rumors and really sees her strength, and really they grow to like each other and give each other a chance, which I found it really good. I liked that. I thought it was cute. I thought it was a good read. I think Abby Glines is a fairly good writer. I really have enjoyed reading her books, and I've read this in like no time. A super easy read. And this one cost $3.73. Again, these prices are really good, and when I say them to you, I'm getting as shocked as I was when I first found them on the site. So $3.73, it's totally worth it. Like a book for this much, again, brand new. It's not hand-me-downs. These are good. Thank you so much for watching this video. You already know what I'm about to say. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you like. stay tuned for more videos that come up. So we've got book hauls or even some clothing hauls. So we've got some new stuff coming. So stay tuned for that. And so hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Bye.